Hello student, I am audible to you.
Yes.
So student, today we will discuss first about the keys, which are the different keys. If you are able to view uh, the screen that I have shared, the whiteboard, just a minute, I again shared it if it is not visible. So within on this whiteboard, I have shared about the some names of key that we are going to use within the DBMS. That is a super key, then candidate key, primary key, foreign key, and composite key. So one by one, we will see that and what is the difference between them. Okay. So first, we will discuss about the candidate key. That what is a candidate key. Okay. So you have to listen me carefully because I am explaining it now with the pen and whiteboard. So you have to listen now carefully that what is a candidate key. So candidate key is a such a key which cannot be a null. Okay. You know about a primary key. Primary key is what? It is a unique. Okay. Means when we say a student number. Okay. I just write down here now. Just a minute. So when we write down the student name, sorry, student number. So student number is unique within the class. Okay. And it is not null. So that's why we called it as an primary key. But in case of candidate key, that candidate key is also having the same feature that it is a it is going to contain a unique value. It is not going to contain a null value. But one table can have the multiple candidate key, but only one primary key. Among that means we have the candidate key like student number, then another we can say that is student phone number. Okay, student number, then student phone number. We can say that student phone number is also the one of the candidate key. Clear? So when we are going to understand about the key, you have to specifically understand that what is a primary key first. Primary key is what we are going to understand that primary key means it is a kind of candidate key, okay, but this primary key is only one within the table, and candidate key can be more than one. It can be more than one. Please try to understand this thing, that a candidate key can be more than one. It is having the same features as that of your primary key, but you are declaring primary key as an only one primary key within the whole table within one record, but candidate key can be more than one. Understood? Any doubt within this now, students?
No.
So please remember about this. So I am just sharing the slide now, a blank slide, so we can discuss in detail. Okay, so primary key I am writing down the difference between the primary key and the candidate key. Okay, it is only one within one table. It can be more than one. One, two, three. It can be more than one. Then primary key, when we are using this primary key, so this primary key can be used as a foreign key for the reference. That is not in case of, not applicable, not in case of candidate key. Okay, and if we consider the similarity, then it is also unique. It is also unique. No null values, no null values. Okay, no null values. Clear? And if we discuss in detail again about this candidate key and the primary key, that if we understand the concept of super key, then it is also help you to understand the candidate key and the primary key also. Means super key is a combination of more than one key, we can say. If we know the functional dependency also, we have to discuss. Within that, we will see that how two keys are combined. If we say that in super key, that is student number and the student phone number, if we consider as an one particular key, so it is called as an super key. So this super key is going to, with the help of this, we can going to identify the address, or we can find out the any another field from the record. It is called as a functional dependency, that with the help of one, means with the help of student roll number or student number, we can find out the name of student. Okay, and similarly there may be a case that two students may have the same name, so we can use the student number and the student phone number to identify the student name or to identify the student address. Clear? Maybe two students having the same name. See, in some scenarios, student name is same, like first name is also same, middle name and last name, all three names are same. So within that case, if we want to bifurcate the students again, then we have to combine the another field from that record, not only the student number, but along with that we can use the student phone number to identify that particular student. So that is the concept of super key here. Clear? Understand now what is super key? That's the set of attributes within this super key, that set of attributes that can uniquely identified is called as a super key. I am using the word set of attributes. These column heads means student name, student roll number, student phone number. These column heads are called as an attribute. In terms of DBMS, these are called as an attributes. So set of attributes, this set of attributes like here, that is a student name, sorry, student number and student phone number. This set of attributes are going to identify either the address or the student name when the students name are same, or we can say the student address may be the same. Okay, so we can use this set of attributes, means we can combine one or more attributes to find out the unique information. So it is the difference between these three key basically, that is a candidate key, super key and a primary key. So first you have to remember about the candidate key. So candidate key is a minimal super key. If we define in terms of super key, that candidate key, it is a minimal super key. Okay, it is such a super key with no repeated data, so that it is called as an candidate key. Okay, and it is a minimal set of attributes which is going to identify the unique records. Clear? It is going to contain the unique values and it is not going to contain the null values. Any doubt within these, students?
No, sir.
Sir, primary key can be also a unique, a single candidate key, super key, na?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, sir.
But when we consider the super key, then it means what? That there is a certain group of attributes or a set of attributes. Understood? So then only we are going to consider the concept of super key when there is more than one attribute. Clear? When we consider the primary key, means only one attribute and it is unique, it is not null. When we consider the candidate key, so candidate key can be more than one within the one record. What table is called as a record in terms of DBMS. Within one record, more than one candidate key can be there. But when we have to identify that record, then we have to define one primary key, that with the help of that primary key, that record is identified, or we can extract the information from that record. Clear? It is the basic difference between the primary key and the candidate key. And please remember that super key is an combination of the more than one attribute to identify the unique records. Understand? As I told you that if the name of student is same, that first name, last name and the middle name is also same, then how you are going to bifurcate two students? Then we can use their roll number and the phone number to identify them, because roll number can be same within the two classes. Okay, if we want to search the record within the def star, suppose there is a student with the same name, with the same complete name within the def star, we are not going for any branch or any department, we have to search the record within the def star. Then how we are going to identify that particular student? We have to find out the roll number of the student, we have to find out the phone number. Okay, we have to combine them and then we have to search the particular student name. Clear? Means how we are going to check that this is the particular student? Then means suppose there is a name like Ramesh Ram Chauhan. Suppose Ramesh Ram Chauhan. There are two students of this name, Ramesh Ram Chauhan. Okay. So we have only the name Ramesh Ram Chauhan. So how we are going to identify that when there are more than one student with the same name, that this is the particular student? Then we have to check its roll number and we have to check its phone number. If it is matching with our record, then we say that this one is the correct student. Okay? That is the way of information extraction, correct way of information extraction. Understood? Now, what is the primary key? Sorry, what is the foreign key? So, can anybody tell me what is a foreign key?
Used to define relationship between two records.
Just a minute. Okay, student, I am audible to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, can anyone please tell me about the what I'm foreign key?
It is, sir, it is an attribute that is used to connect two tables or records.
Yes, correct. But can you tell me in detail?
Yes, sir. For example, just an example, if a student has an, semester field, then with the help of that semester attribute, we can connect the subjects in that semester and the student that is going to get that subject.
Yes, yes, correct. You are correct. Means there is a any role of primary key.
Uh, Sir, sometimes it is not necessary, but sometimes we can use that also.
Okay, means suppose we want to link two tables. For example, there is a student table and there is a student course table, like you are telling. Okay, suppose we prepare two tables. Table one is of student, table two is of student course. Correct.
Yes, sir.
So whenever we are going to approach to the student course, so obviously certain student is enrolled to that course.
Yes, sir.
So that particular student ID must be there within that student course table.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that student ID is also present within the student table.
Yes, sir.
That is a student number,
Hmm.
student roll number. So that student roll number is appearing as a primary key within that student table.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So when we have to find out that how many students are enrolled to the computer science and engineering, so we have to check the student roll number. We have to go wise the student roll number. So this student roll number, which is acting as a primary key within the student table, it is considered as a foreign key within the course table.
Yes, sir.
Understood now?
Yes, sir.
That is the concept of foreign key. And this foreign key is not only the one column, it can be a group of columns. Okay, depending upon the another primary key we can say, or we can say it is not always that we require the primary key always. Just a minute, sorry.
हेलो सर.
Yes.
सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट बट इस मीटिंग की लिंक भेज सकते हैं सर आप चैट में, क्योंकि कुछ
Okay, okay.
पार्टिसिपेंट ज्वाइन
हाँ
नहीं
हाँ,
कर पा रहे हैं.
just a minute, भेजता हूँ, just Okay, sorry, दूसरे भी administrative work चल रहे हैं. हाँ. Yes, any doubt, students? Students, I'm audible. Please reply.
Yes, sir.
Okay, लिंक भेज दी मैंने, किसको ज्वाइन करना होगा तो ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. Okay, so primary key, candidate key, and we have discussed also about the super key. Now we are concentrating on the foreign key. So I just tell you the formal wording now about the foreign key. That foreign key is a column or a group of columns in the relational database, which is going to provide the linkage between two tables. Okay. So please try to remember that foreign key is used to link or to relate two tables. Okay, and it can be representing one column or a group of columns.
Sir, can we say that foreign key is always a primary key of some record?
Yes, yes. That's why you already, when you are describing about the primary key, so I told, na? So that is there any role of primary key? So
Yes, sir.
so student ID or student roll number, that we are discuss about that two tables, that is a student table and the student post table. So student ID is the primary key. So obviously when we are forming the foreign key, so within that foreign key, at least one column must be the primary key of another table. Clear? So it is always going to refer to a primary key of another table. And we know that there is only one primary key in the table, but foreign key means more than one foreign key can be allowed within the table. And about the primary key, if we consider that there are unique records and not null records, but within the foreign key there can be duplicate values when we are going to link the tables. Okay, because when it is going to contain more than one column, then that another column other than primary key column, that it may contains the duplicate value. And similar thing about the null values, primary key is not going to represent a null value, but when we consider the foreign key, so foreign key, if it consists of more than one column, then it may contain the null values. Clear? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about the composite key. That what is the composite key? Just a minute, students. So students, as per the name, that composite key means more than one attribute is there. Okay. So this composite key is also going to form the primary key, or we can say the primary key with two or more attribute, it is called as a composite key. So as per the name, it is a combination of more than one attribute. Okay, so that it is known as an composite key. Understood? That what is a composite key? That it is a combination of two or more columns within that table, and it is used to identify the unique records or unique information. Clear?
Sir, what if they ask the difference between super and composite key?
Which key?
Super,
Composite.
super and composite.
Super key and composite key.
Yes, sir.
Okay, super key. Just I will tell you that super key, when we are going to use the super key, that super key means what? That when we are going to combine that particular two, any two attributes. Okay, but in case of composite key, we are going to make it as a primary key when the primary key is made up of one or two, more than one column. Primary key is what? It is a unique, clear, and
Yes.
it is not null. And when we have such a two columns, which the unique and the not null, and we have to combine them to identify the particular record. Like if we consider the order details, order, when we place the order on the Flipkart or the Amazon, then order ID and the product ID is going to form the composite key, and it is used as an primary key to identify the customer record or the quantity placed within that particular order. So that is the difference between the composite key and the super key. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Within super key, when we consider the super key, that it is a just a combination of one or more attributes. Okay,
Hmm.
but that is not exactly like a primary key.
Okay, means super. It is not necessary that with the help of super key we can act it like a primary key. But in case of
No, because it is super key is going to support the null values.
okay, okay, done.
Understood?
And composite.
The candidate key is a super key, but vice versa is not true.
Hmm.
Clear? Clear with the concept?
Yes, sir.
Null values are allowed within the super key. In composite key, null values are not allowed because they are these composite keys are used as a primary key to identify the unique records.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, any another doubt within this? Because we have covered all the keys: super key, candidate key, primary key, foreign key, and composite key. Any another doubt within this? So again, I am telling you that what is a super key? Super key is a combination of more than one column, and actually this column is called as an attribute in terms of DBMS. Table is called as an record in terms of DBMS. So whenever you are using any reference book or any website or any video, then they are using as an attribute keyword for the column head. Column head means student number is a column head, so it is known as an attribute. And table name, that is a student record, so that is a that table is called as a record, not a table. Okay, understood? So please remember this thing, that super key is a combination of more than one attribute. And candidate key, so as we have discussed, that candidate key is what? So can anyone remember what we have discussed about the candidate key?
Yes, sir. It is a candidate key is a super key, and
Yes.
it can't be null.
Yes, correct. Okay. So next one is the primary key. As all of we know the primary key and the foreign key most. Primary key not null, unique, and it is only one within the table. Only one within the table. Foreign key can be consist of more than one attribute, means it is a combination of more than one attribute, but at least one attribute is the primary key of another table. That is the concept here about the foreign key. Clear? And if it is a combination of more than one attribute, then it can going to support the null values also. Okay. Next, about the composite key. Composite key is used to form the primary key, which is having more than one attribute, more than one column, like order ID and the product ID. Combiningly going to form the one primary key, that is called as an composite key. And what is the feature of primary key? It is not null and it is unique. Clear? So that is the concept of super key, candidate key, primary key, foreign key, and composite key. Understood? Any doubt, students?
No, sir.
Okay. So next we will discuss about the functional dependency. Okay. So just wait a minute. So student, please observe that image now. If you observe, there is a student table with the large details like student ID, then name, then credits, then department name, building, and room number. When we have such a large schema, then it is going to generate a certain kind of anomalies. Okay. So what kind of that anomalies? That is the insertion, deletion, and updation anomalies are there. So before that, we will understand what is a functional dependency. Functional dependency means what? If we say that X going to give the Y, means Y is depend upon X. Okay. For example, that student ID is given and we are able to find out the name. So X is what? It is a student ID and we are going to find out the name. So with the help of student ID, we are going to find out the name. So it is called as a functional dependency. Clear? Now, what is the problem with this functional dependency? If we have the last schema and how we are going to deal with these functional dependency problems, that is the next concept of normalization. That is, if you remember 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, then BCNF and all that things. So before the normalization, you must know about the functional dependency and what is the problem with that functional dependency, so that there is a concept of normalization. Okay. So if you observe here, these two records are different. Roll number 1 and 2 records are different with the student number and the student name. But if you observe this detail, that is department number, building number, and room number. That is, department name is same. Building, when department name is CSE, building is B1 and room number is 101. So suppose I am going to add the new record 7, and suppose I am going to add the new student name ABC here with the credit suppose 8 and same CSE department. So I have to repeat this information 101. So now it is a small table, but when there is a large schema, large table, then in that case I have to repeat this again and again. So it is called an insertion anomaly. Okay, it is called as an insertion anomaly. So similarly, there is an updation anomaly. That if there is an improper query, that suppose there is a room number 101, that change the room number of building B1, change the room number of building B1. So it is going to change the room number of every record wherever that B1 is appearing. Okay. And if you want to specifically change the room number for any particular student, then it is a difficult one that we have to write down the subquery and all other complex operation. So it is a prefer that we are going to normalize these tables with the help of different normalizations. Clear? So it is about the insertion anomaly, then about the updation anomaly and the deletion anomaly. That how we are going to delete the record. Okay, if you want to delete a record of a particular building, then it is going to affect the other records also. If we add the new building, then also it is going to affect the other records also. Suppose we have added a building number 3. So which department is running within that building number 3, that also we have to provide. Then which students are approaching towards that building number 3, that also we have to provide, and in which room number. All this information we have to provide. Means we have to update the little bit information only, but with the to provide that information or to add that information or to update that information, we have to update the entire record. We have to update the entire schema. That is the concept of functional dependency here. And this functional dependency, there is a need to reduce this functional dependency with the help of normalization concept, with the concept of normalization. And if the concept of functional dependency is written like this: if that x, that is suppose t1 dot x is equals to t2 dot x, then t1 dot y is equals to t2 dot y. Means if there are two different tables and if you are comparing one particular value, one from one particular record, okay, then the other column values are also same. So I just explain you with the help of example now. Just wait a minute. I just page the example now. Just wait a minute. Okay, student, listen carefully now. I'm just telling you with the help of example now that how it is going to execute that this operation, that whatever I written here, that t1 dot x is equals to t2 dot x. If it is true, then only we are going to check the next one. Okay. So suppose x value is here the department name. It is a department name. Okay. And this t1 means the one tuple and t2 means the one another tuple, means the record. If we consider this is the t1 and this is the t2, suppose. Okay. So here within the t1, if you observe within this t1, the department name is what? CSE. Correct. In T2 tuple, department name is what? CSE. Means that is equal, that is true. When it is true, then we have to check for the next column, that is for the Y. And Y is suppose building. Okay. So what we have to check, that T1 dot Y, T1 dot Y, that is T1 dot Y, that is a building. It is a B1 here. So T2 dot Y, it is also B1 here, means that is true. Means this dependency is true, that is correct. If it is B2 here, then it is not functionally dependent. They are not dependent on each other. Okay. Understood what is the functional dependency now? Clear? Any doubt within this? What is the functional dependency? Because when you understand the functional dependency, then only you are able to understand the next concept of normalization. That functional dependency is not only for the for one particular attribute, that it can be a combination of more than one attribute. Like as I told you that x, this x is only a department name. If I consider that department name and building, okay, so these are the x now, means these two attributes are going to form the x. So if x of this tuple t1 is equals to the x of this tuple t2, that is here also CSE b1, here also CSE b1, it is true, then we have to check the room number. If room number is appearing same, that is 101 101, then they are functionally dependent. If here it is 102, then they are not functionally dependent. Understood? That is the concept of functional dependency. So there, you know the type of functional dependency. Anyone can tell me the types of functional dependency? No one remembers about the functional dependency? Trivial, non-trivial, multi-valued, anything? Anyone remember? A trivial dependency, non-trivial dependency, multi-valued dependency. Any one of you? Functional dependency means what? When we have to fetch the information, and if it is depend upon the another information, means to fetch that information we must have certain with us, then only we are able to extract that information. This is the case of functional dependency. And suppose if I want to find out the address of any particular student, then I must have the roll number of that student. From the roll number I can find the address. Clear? And if I want to find out the address and I have only provided with the roll number, but no one told me that what is the branch of that particular roll number, or what is the semester of that roll number, then how I am going to identify? Then I am going to search for the mobile number of that student. So the mobile number and the ID, that is the roll number, with these two formation, or we can say the composite key, I form the primary key, and then I am going to find out the address. It is easy to find out me the address because phone number is unique. Then say another one combination is the roll number is the unique for particular class. Now roll number is not unique within the complete depth star, but phone number is the unique. So I form the composite key to find out that information. This is called as a functional dependency. So there are certain types of functional dependency: trivial functional dependency, non-trivial, and multi-value dependency. So as I told you the example of this roll number and the phone number, so I use the more than one value, so it is called as a multi-valued functional dependency. We will also discuss the trivial functional dependency. Just a minute. So student, in case of trivial functional dependency, I just write it down here. When we write down this condition, that is x produce, we can say there is a functional dependency with the y. Okay. So within this, that y must be the subset of x in case of trivial functional dependency. Like I told you that student number and student phone number I consider, and I am going to produce two things, that I am going to obtain two things, that is a student phone number and the student address Okay, so these two things I am going to obtain. So it is what? It is x and it is y. So y is what? Here the phone number is also appearing. So it is a subset of x. Clear? So that is the case of trivial functional dependency. And non-trivial, that it is not a subset. In case of non-trivial, it is not a subset. Clear? Understood what is trivial functional dependency and what is non-trivial functional dependency? Students, any doubt within this? Functional dependency means what? Please try to understand that when we are to find out any record, and if we to find out that record, we must have something with us. So that is called as a functional dependency. In the so that due to this dependency, there is a certain problem, or we can say certain anomalies are going to occur, which is called as an insertion anomaly, deletion anomaly, and updation anomaly. So to avoid these anomalies, we have to reduce this schema, last schema. We have to reduce this last schema, which is called as a concept of normalization. Okay, so that we are discussing this functional dependency first before the concept of normalization. We will discuss the normalization within the next session, but here you have to understand this functional dependency. Once you understand the functional dependency, you can see the any video of normalization, you are going to understand it very easily. If you don't know the functional dependency and the keys, then you are not going to understand the normalization. Clear? So anyone remembers what is normalization? I just tell you the basic about the normalization. Normalization means what? Eliminating the duplicate values or the redundancy within the database or within the table or from the record. You have to eliminate the redundancy from the table, redundant data from the table or inconsistent data from the table. And you have to make it as a perfect one for the use. Nowadays, it is also called as a pre-processing, the kind of pre-processing. It is called as it is also the type of normalization. Okay, that we are going to remove the blank spaces. Blank places may be replaced by the null values. All these kind of the normalizations are there. So anyone knows the types of normalization?
First normal form, second normal form, third normal form.
Okay, so anyone knows the difference between them? Actually, it requires time. We have to take one more session for that.
Sir, is there a means? Did we record it at the previous meeting?
Previous meeting, yes, it is recorded.
Okay, sir.
About in previous session we discussed about the joins,
Okay.
so it is recorded. So any another concept you require to clear out from the DBMS? Students? Hello.